Harmless Phosphorescence is brought to you by executive producers Ember Keller, Michael Beckwith, and Atticus Burkett. Bury your tools! It's Harmless Phosphorescence's first 50 movie spectacular! Everybody, and welcome to Harmless Phosphorescence. This is the podcast where normally we will watch every superhero movie, live action, theatrically released, in order, and then we'll talk about them. This week, though, we just did our 50th episode, so we are taking a moment to count down our first 50 movie spectacular. See, because we rank these things. We've been ranking every movie, putting them on the list from best to worst, and today, we're going to take a moment to look at the first 50 that we've done and count them down for you. You can actually look at the list. That I'm putting that in the show notes. So open up your podcast player, look at the notes. You'll see our list of 50 that we're going to be counting down today. By the way, this is fiery, fleeing, freebaser, and comic relief Thoreau Smiley. Who's joining me?
I'm Josh Cece, and I'm not even clear on what movie we did last week.
I'm Brian Lesh, and I dug up all of my tools from that hole for this one.
I'm Alaric Weber, and I'm of a mind to make some mookie.
Yeah, I kind of got our introductions out of order. That's what happens when I don't have like direct notes to read from every week.
Yeah.
So I already explained what we're doing, and let's go ahead and jump in on this. We got 50 movies to talk through. So basically, yeah.
No, I'm sorry. I answered my question.
Okay.
Everything's a countdown. You never count up. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, the 50th movie is going to be the funnest to talk about.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and get into this. We started, so just a few stats here. We've covered 50 movies. The first 50 live-action, theatrically released superhero movies ever made. The first one was Superman and the Mole Men from 1951. Our most recent one was crap. What did we do last week?
Hellboy.
Hellboy in 2004.
It was Hellboy.
Hellboy in 2004. So 53 years for the first 50 movies. I'd like to point out that the next 50 movies cover the span of 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
So they
the world woke up one day and was like, superhero movies, please.
Yeah, let's do it.
Huh.
Yeah. So yeah, that's we're gonna be looking at a lot more from each year coming forward. But there was one from the 60s, one from the 50s, one from the 60s, one from the 70s, and then in the 80s we started at least having multiple per decade.
Mm-hmm.
The 90s we started getting a few years where we'd have multiple per year. And then in the 2000s, every year there's going to be multiples going forward. 2010s, some years we have up to 9 movies to cover in a single year. So
yep. Well, they say that
I feel like it slows down.
It does.
Yeah, until we hit 2020, then well, we all know what happened then.
Well, the level of escapism in a society's art is reflected by how shitty life is.
Yeah, right.
You know? So I could see why we all want to go to Wakanda now.
Yeah. So, you guys ready to jump in and start counting down this list?
Yeah.
Booyah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's turtlefy it. I couldn't remember any of that.
Wait till they get a load of my thing. Here we go. All right, counting down, starting at number 50 from 2001, Citizen Toxie, The Toxic Avenger 4. That is the worst movie we have watched so far.
It had a Stan Lee cameo, right?
Yes.
Voice cameo, yeah.
Voice cameo.
The 80s movie that was made in the 2000s.
Yes,
Well, this movie took
exactly.
like 16 years to make, right?
Yeah, I think he was trying to make it for most of the 90s.
Yeah.
I don't know why he couldn't.
The man had a vision.
Yeah.
He ran out of money.
I guess he still has that vision. As we've talked about, he's rebooting it. But yeah, it was bad. And it's funny because even Joseph has pointed out, one of our producers, it's funny, our old barometer, as we all know, listeners, was Swamp Thing.
Yes.
Things were compared by and large to that. And now it's Toxie 2.
Yeah. Toxie 2 is kind of, Toxie 2 is kind of the dividing line between good and bad now at this point.
Yeah. And so my point being that, like, we took our time and tried to pay attention to these Troma movies. And like we gave credit where credit was due, but 4 was terrible.
Oh God, it was just plain bad. It was really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. The school, and now I'm remembering.
Yeah.
There were 2 Toxies.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And yes. Lloyd had found he couldn't make fun of most racial groups anymore.
Yeah.
So he settled on the mentally deficient.
Yeah, exactly. It's meant that he settled on.
He didn't settle.
I used that term.
He leaned
hard. And I even used that term, which sounds inappropriate because that's the way he played them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was no spectrum.
Yeah.
in Lloyd's.
No, he could no longer make fun. He could no longer be racist. So he decided to make fun of the disabled. Just come on, dude.
And he brought back that huge fat guy from the other movies to have a central part.
Oh my God. Yeah, he did. Oh,
right, so
God. Yeah, that movie. Fuck that movie. Coming in at number 49, Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, which was last for a long time until we got Citizen Toxie. That movie's terrible.
The Quest for More Money?
Yes.
No, but it wasn't. It wasn't. So, because Christopher
Reeve... That was Kodak, right? This was a Kodak movie?
No, Canon.
Films. Canon Films.
Which we talked about.
Yeah. Canon Films, not related to Canon that makes electronics.
No.
Yeah, Canon Films, Golan and Globus. Those guys are worthy of their own podcast. I'm sure there's a few about them. But
right. The studio had organized crime ties and cocaine deal ties, and they were the kind of studio that would start off with a production like they did the Death Wish sequels and stuff, and then by the end of the production there was no movie, no money, and they would have to just sort of smash and grab, and that totally happened in Superman 4.
Yeah, but the budget they started off with was twice.
And the idea,
was about twice as much as what they ended up with when they were done. And they cut half the movie out. There were supposed to be 2 nuclear men in it.
Yeah. And we do that joke about what did he do with the first nuclear man, and we did the of mice and men.
Oh, that's right.
We're smothering with a pillow. Just
think about Fission, Lenny.
Yeah, that was barely a movie. That was
Yeah.
And it started with a good idea. Superman ridding the planet of nuclear weapons. Like, he's just tired of it. Like, I gave you guys a chance. And so, that could have been something.
Put him in a net, right?
And throw them at the
sun. Space net.
And he gets scratched by Nuclear Man, right?
Yes.
And he gets sick or some shit.
Nuclear Man with his his silver disco Coke nail.
Evil.
I'm realizing now that this whole list is going to be like a strange fever dream.
Right.
Memories. And one more last note that I had taken is us talking about that kid, Jeremy.
Oh,
we had the line Jeremy spoke in court today because he's the one that wrote the letter to Superman and got things going. But we did this bit because in the scene, it's the classroom, and the teacher starts the lesson by so what should we do to save the world? Kids. But Jeremy's just in the back looking out the window, and we compared him to Robert Shaw in Jaws.
Oh, that's right. With his nails
I'll
done.
catch you, Superman, and I'll kill it too. Snacking on an orange.
Asking the kids, all right, this is going to be known as crowdsourcing in a few decades.
I know who I'd write a letter to. God damn it.
Yeah, why did we never think of asking Superman to help stuff with this kind of stuff?
Yeah, and then the introduction of Lenny Luthor.
Ducky Luthor.
Oh yeah, that's what's his face?
John Cryer, yeah.
Yeah, John Cryer. Holy shit.
Yeah. Okay, Superman 4 is at number 49. At number 48, Spawn.
Hey, real quick. I was just saying that Superman 4 was the 12th movie on our list. So by the time we got to number 12, chronologically, we already had a fourth movie in a series. Is just kind of crazy to me.
No,
I don't know.
It really is.
Yeah.
Well, Superman, the Superman series was like the one and only superhero series that
Franchise,
anyone
Yeah.
took seriously in any way for the entire 70s and 80s.
Anyway, Spawn.
Yeah, number 48 is Spawn. That, oh God, and it's PlayStation 1 cutscene graphics.
And it starred Michael Jai White, who also had an appearance in Toxie 3 for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. And he did his best, man. I felt bad for him.
Yeah, he was fine.
He did a lot to carry that whole role, but the whole movie around him was just a PlayStation nightmare.
Yeah.
With John Leguizamo snickering in the background.
Oh God,
and Martin Sheen snickering in the foreground.
Oh my God, with his weird black
right.
hair, dyed hair, and beard. He's like, I'm 65
Jed
years
Bartlett.
old.
Right. Ed Bartlett. Yeah, and he'd played Kennedy earlier in his career, and so he was always this positive, sort of comforting type presidential. You know what I mean? Martin Sheen was never really the bad guy. Not even in Apocalypse Now, he's the good guy.
Yeah.
Well, they were gonna
if
poison
there is
the
one.
Earth or some weird shit. I forget. That's such a dumb.
No, they were going to start the apocalypse so they could sell weapons to both sides. This has come up multiple times in these movies.
It's a common angle apparently.
So he can sell guns to the devil?
I guess. Yeah, weapons.
Yeah.
A lot of lingering questions with that movie.
Yeah, no, that movie was a fever dream. It made no
that movie
sense.
came out after Jurassic Park, right?
Yeah, several years.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys keep referring to PlayStation because if you haven't seen the movie, folks, it's worse than a 12-bit video game. It's just terrible.
It looks
like somebody's little brother handed the controller that's not plugged in.
It looks like Donkey Kong Country.
No, but Brian's right, and you let the extended sort of like little movie aspect of it play. You know what I mean? Like your character dies, and normally you would hit A or B, but if you let it play, it's this swirl of demons that
just keeps going. Yeah.
Hellscape.
So bad.
I would like to point out the standout performance of Frank Welker as the Devil Malbolgia.
That's right.
Yep, Frank Welker, Scooby-Doo.
Mr. Doo. I just watched this video about how there's a job to in Hollywood to CGI out dog penises in Disney movies. Like that's someone's job. But they mentioned Scooby-Doo, the animated Scooby-Doo. Well, not the animated, the live-action Scooby-Doo movie with the CGI Scooby. Not only, well, so I mean, he's CGI, so obviously you don't put a penis on him. That's just where you start. But they went.
That's just day one.
Is that obvious?
I had no idea. Yeah. Thoreau runs in different circles than we do. All right, day one shit. No penis.
But they went a step further. They created an anti-light source. So no matter what sort of light source Scooby is standing in, his crotch is always in shadow. You can, in the darkest, blackest shadow.
Yeah. That's done
They
a lot in
created
two-dimensional.
An anti-light source on his crotch.
Yeah, it literally sucks
That's
light
fantastic.
out of the surrounding area in a gradient. Yeah.
So CGI
Well, and it's not-
his crotch is a black hole.
Yes.
It's a black hole.
There's an
It's antimatter.
Al, you're a scientist. How does that work?
Well, and even more than the image, you would have to then decide if Scooby's neutered or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So the density of Scooby's penis is so great that it absorbs all light.
Right.
That's the BDE, man.
So Scooby-Doo is majorly hung is what we're saying.
Has anyone ever been ball level to a Great Dane?
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah,
I have. I'll ask.
Those guys are, yeah.
So he's majorly hung. You just can't see it because it doesn't allow light to escape. Yeah.
And it's often very afraid.
Yes.
So it's tucked between. Yeah. So Scooby-Doo was number 48, you said?
And that concludes our discussion of Spawn.
Well, they had the same bylaws they had to stick to. You couldn't see the violator.
Oh God. Coming in at number 47, Batman and Robin.
Oh.
Arnie as the Iceman, who cometh, as he told us.
So that's George Clooney?
Yes, that's
Bruce Wayne?
The nipple suit,
yeah. Nipple suit,
cod pieces.
nipple suits, foam bat asses.
Yeah.
Yeah, gratuitous ass shots.
Joel Schumacher, may he rest in pieces. The movie that almost ruined his career.
And he almost deserved it.
Yeah, it killed the Batman franchise for 10 years.
And we brought it up a lot during these movies, and they sort of went on a progression. But by this one, like, there was no separation from Batman and the populace of, you know what I mean? Like, Batman was at press conferences. Batman was at, like, you know, he was down ground level.
He was doing
charity ball.
One of the Gotham's many charity balls.
He's just a mascot.
So, like, all these instances when, yeah. All these instances where Bruce Wayne should have been there.
Yeah, Batman just shows up. He's just a celebrity now. But
it's probably way more fun to go out as Batman than it is.
It is.
Because no one's going to ask you for money as Batman. You'd be like, I'll fucking punch you in the face.
Batman does
after
like
this picture.
Batman does like some like local like newscast like award shows. He's like, and best local anchor, Vicky Vale.
He's that
level too.
As terrible as this movie was, and as much as they butchered the character, Uma Thurman was great.
She was doing. Yeah. She was having a lot of fun, and you could tell.
Yeah, totally.
Whereas, like Schwarzenegger seemed like he was like really trying to vamp and just not pulling it off.
No,
it's not really his bag.
No.
Well, and they sort of foisted that villain on the public. You know, if you didn't watch Batman cartoons or read Batman comic books, like you might have heard of who Mr. Freeze was. So I bet that was just very garish. Just like, I don't know who the character is. I don't know this frame of reference, and he's just mugging and funny.
And he's supposed to be a scientist, and why is he bald? And like
right.
Like
and this was all to save his wife. But he had his two little hotties like every villain does, and yeah.
Yeah. So what was he?
He only had the one. He
Or
only
just-
had the one. Yeah.
Debbie Mazar.
Two-Face who had the two.
Yeah, Debbie Mazar.
Oh yeah,
right?
that's right. We're forgetting. Tommy
Wait, or was Debbie Mazar in?
Debbie Mazar, she was Spice, and Drew Barrymore
Okay,
was
so
Sugar.
yeah,
that was the second one.
was Return.
Oh.
Or that was the other one then. That was Forever. But
This was wasn't it the same
Naomi
woman
Campbell.
who was in Spawn?
It was Naomi Campbell.
Okay.
Oh right, yes.
Oh no. Okay.
My question is, what was going to happen to her when his wife came back? Was she just going to go back to the ice cream factory?
That's one of which there was an abandoned ice cream factory
That still was making ice cream.
Yeah, we wondered if someone fell in the vat of that.
So Mr. Freeze in the movie, he had a lot of emotions for someone who was supposedly frozen of all emotions.
No, he was all over the place.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah. So that's number 47. Coming in at number 46.
Wait a minute. Why wasn't he Dr. Freeze then?
Right?
Yeah.
Or
Did
Professor
he
Freeze,
just
or-
never pass the MCATs or something? So he's just, I didn't go to 8 years of freezing medical.
Freezing. It's like regular medical school, but cold.
Yeah.
Real quick, misbehaving, who was Mr. Freeze's chickie, was Vivica Fox.
Vivica Fox, not Naomi Campbell. Okay.
Even better. I love Vivica.
Yeah. Okay. So
There, I said it.
Now we know.
On the record.
I'm going to tell your wife.
She knows.
She has the costume.
Oh, and she was in Independence Day. That's why.
That's right.
That's why we'd seen her twice.
Okay.
She's Larry. She's Larry David's girlfriend on Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Coming in at number 46, Toxic Avenger 3. That was the one. Oh, that was the one where he fought the devil and he became a yuppie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was
and they had the big board meeting.
Mm-hmm.
That
well,
one
no,
dude
they
was
had the board meeting in 2 and 3. They
But I
reused
think
the board
3
meeting.
was where that. Oh yeah, maybe it was 2.
Well,
where
they-
the big guys like in the Atlantic.
That was
Yeah,
2.
in the
That was
Atlantic
both
Ocean.
movies. It was in both.
Yeah.
Because they shot them simultaneously.
Yeah.
So he reused some of the footage for both.
No, I knew all that. I just couldn't keep straight where because 2 starts out like a Toxie movie and then goes to Japan, as we know.
And gets
So it's so hard
fun.
to keep straight.
Like,
It's
So this
fun.
is like the simultaneous what was happening while he was there movie, right?
Oh yeah.
well, no,
Really?
because it's after he came back. It's after he came
Yeah.
back and had his adventures in Japan. He became a yuppie and almost made a deal with the devil.
Oh, that's right. A yuppie.
Symbolism.
They also reused some of the footage from the sex scene with Claire.
Yes. Yes, they did. There were a lot of sex scenes, and 4 movies. Claire was played by 3. Well, Claire, what was the name in the first?
Sarah.
Claire
Sarah.
/ Sarah was played by 3 different women with 2 different names in 4 different movies.
Well, yeah, I can see how any actor's like, no, that's not what I thought it was going to be. I'm not coming. No wonder he had to use so much footage because I bet it was hard to get people to come back.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that was that was what it was. Toxie 3. Number 45, The Shadow. Alec Baldwin.
Ugh.
And
The opium den.
And who was with it? Was it Caroline in the City? Was his girlfriend in that? No.
Who was it?
Was it her?
I think so.
I refuse to look
Yeah,
at my
Caroline
notes.
Thompson?
No,
seen Howard the Duck?
Oh, that's right.
Oh, that's
Who was the girlfriend? Well, Penelope Ann Miller.
Yes, that's who it was.
Yeah.
And was it Peter Boyle? Was he the?
Yeah, it was the cab driver or sidekick guy.
That's right.
Yeah.
Fuck, that movie so hard.
The Shadow was awful. It was, but it had the Taylor Dane song. I'm applying for a license to kill.
Oh,
That's right. She's blind.
She went down to the city courthouse.
Yeah, like it's a name change.
She was like, I want to get a fishing license and a killing license.
well, we could do
Well,
the
from a-
fishing license here. The killing license is downtown.
Or if you think about it from a fish's perspective.
Right? They're both killing licenses. They're like, no, you can't just get a killing license, lady. There's an extra form for that. Yeah, The Shadow was not good. I mean, 1930s Batman, except not good. And
No, let's not blame the premise or the, it was pretty hokey.
Well, it was a
powers
radio
that he
show.
had.
yeah.
It was
It
original.
was like a really popular noir
No,
radio show.
This is one of
Yeah.
This is one of those early 90s things where they totally misunderstood why Batman was popular. It's the same
Yeah.
way that they made Dick Tracy kind of the Rocketeer, except that was at least a good movie.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and Alec Baldwin, as we know and have mentioned, was offered or was at least on a short list for Batman, and he didn't take.
Yeah.
He made that choice, and then of course he freaked out. So then he took this, and as Brian mentioned, it starts in an opium den in like Nepal or something,
Yes.
and he's late 80s Baldwin, but with this long, stringy, greasy hair, and he's like 4-inch fingernails.
I know.
Wow.
And his name is Cranston.
Cranston.
Yeah.
I forgot about Cranston. Yeah. Well, no. And it's like we don't see how he got there. He was a
No.
rich kid from New York, and he ends up being an opium drug lord in
He, like,
Mongolia.
controls it. Yeah.
And that's the part of the movie we don't see. Is how he got there.
Right. Then he's like, "Oh, I better go home. Something's going on."
Yep. Back to New York to beat up like local gangsters. Now that I'm dead being a drug lord in Mongolia.
I was gonna say, there's all these junkies across the world going. All of a sudden, the opium supply stopped.
Right.
This dude went home.
Well, and the bad guy in that
College.
went to the trouble. He went to the trouble of putting himself in a statue and getting himself shipped to a museum in a time where they were not checking IDs for airplane or boat rides.
He was like Genghis Khan's like nephew.
Great grandson. He was from the modern era. He wasn't like a time traveler. He was just. He
claimed to be the last descendant of Genghis Khan.
Right.
Oh, right.
And that's
Which
right.
We had said, yeah.
A third of the world begs to differ.
It's a great point.
Yeah.
Fuck the Shadow. The Shadow don't know shit.
No. And coming in above the Shadow at number 44, actually, I'm not so sure about this. The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie.
Do.
Go Power Rangers. I don't know what to say about that. I mean,
Yeah. It was
the only time I
mystifying.
ever saw it. It was interesting.
Yeah.
yeah. Tidbit, guys, we didn't realize until it was too late that there was a sequel to this that came out in theaters. So that's when we get caught up. We're going to be looking back at the ones we missed. There's a few, not a ton, but a few that we might end up having to watch.
Well, yeah. I mean, I can't say it was bad because I don't know the product. You know.
Oh, I mean, it
looks like it delivered, right? Like if that was your thing.
It totally did what any 7-year-old fan of the TV show wanted it to do. Sure.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
They punched a lot of stuff.
They did, and they spun and kicked around a lot of stuff.
Yeah. There's a lot of that too. That was good.
It was the Power Rangers. I'm not going to talk shit about something that's clearly for small children.
Oh, aren't we?
Yeah, okay. I'm lying. We do that. We do that constantly. No,
It was kind of fun.
Yeah. It was fine, and I had a lot of fun digging into the history of it, how it came from. It dates the Japanese version has something like 80 movies and is on their 40th season. It started in 1972, so
that's wild.
Yeah. And the one with there's the version where they're trains, which I don't know how that works when you're not near a train track.
Oh, didn't
They
they
laid
have
their own track.
Yeah, didn't they have magical train tracks?
I guess I only ever watched the intro.
You wouldn't understand because you're not a train.
Right.
Morphical
Going to
train
my
tracks?
room.
Morphical train tracks. It was actually secretly the Japanese version of Thomas the Tank Engine.
I was thinking, George Carlin was the conductor.
Yes. He's like, go Power Rangers. You know the thing about Power Rangers? They're out to fuck you. That's George Carlin.
They are?
In the Power Rangers train series.
Okay.
Anyways, number 43.
Pterodactyl Thunder Whip.
Pterodactyl Thunder Whip.
That's Mr. Pterodactyl Thunder Whip to you.
That's my porn name.
Yeah, it is. Forevermore.
Number 43. The Toxic.
The P is silent. Yeah, it's Pterodactyl.
All the P's are silent, so it's Pterodactyl Thunder Whip. At number 43. The Toxic Avenger, the first one. That was a rough movie to watch. Almost as rough as 4.
I think because it was the first one, like for us jumping into that, it was just harsh.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a harsh movie, but
we didn't know what to expect. Whereas with 4, we kind of knew where we were going.
Well, and it's not the last one on this list going up. too, because the second one we thought was better than this. So
yeah, by
Sure.
quite a bit, actually, looking at the list.
which makes me wonder if we were desensitized by this movie.
I
That
think
was the whole game plan.
I mean, the second
think-
one just wasn't nearly as mean as the first one. Like, it was pretty lighthearted in comparison.
I feel like a lot of that's just because of it not being in America.
Yeah.
Whereas their
Yeah.
depiction of Jersey is we're all so mean.
And there wasn't, I mean, Al's right. It took us all aback. I was listening to it earlier this morning. We weren't prepared for the psychopathy that we saw, the running over, backing up over a kid you just ran over, and
Yeah.
taco shop, and
Uh,
like we knew there was going to be gore, but I don't think we knew on the psychological level, like two people doing it to the pictures of a kid who's been run over. I can't even say it.
Yeah.
It's so fucked up.
yeah, no, it's super fucked up. And and this crazy ass, like, gym where they go to, where all
Yes.
evil takes place.
Yeah,
We're like,
seriously.
let's go down to the Planet Fitness and plan some murders.
And we got introduced to villain like Cigar Face and
Oh
the
God,
staple that was the transvestite villain. There's always one of those in his movies.
always with
Sorry,
a big '70s mustache.
Yep.
I didn't realize until a few days after we did Toxie 4 that in both movies they used the line, put down the tacos or we'll blow your brains out.
Yeah.
Because they had the taco shop in the first one and then bring a Mexican to lunch day in the fourth one.
Bring a Mexican to lunch day.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I don't know.
All right,
I don't
maybe
believe
they
in a lot
didn't.
of rules when it comes to comedy, but yeah, Al couldn't even get through that sentence. I couldn't get through. It's like
Maybe Ford didn't
Some
get
of
rid
the-
of all the racism.
Yeah. No, I don't think he's capable of making a movie that's not racist.
Speaking of the taco shop, there is one part in the movie that I know I enjoyed, and we all sort of agreed that it was a hilarious bit that then we've seen used since. But introducing all the bad guys that are about to
Oh yeah,
shoot and
naming them
assault you
off.
as if it's a band, like
Yeah.
taking that moment, dun, 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 going through the band. Like we got Charlie on shotgun.
Could you imagine if real criminals did that? Like,
That's what I'm saying. Taking that time.
Right.
uh,
So that was the only part.
yeah. God, Toxic Avenger. Okay, number 42, The Phantom. That was our first COVID episode. We had some technical difficulties on it.
No. It's hard to listen to that one.
It really is, because we had some really bad technical issues on it. But the movie itself was extremely just meh.
I
Yeah.
barely remember it.
It's the movie equivalent of Billy Zane.
Yeah. Like he wears that purple jumpsuit.
All in purple. Billy Zane in skin tight purple.
He like fences twice.
Yeah.
You know. There was a cool plane
Thing. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, remember when the
scene
the
that
horse
jumped
was
the
out
shark.
the horse was out
Yeah.
running the plane and they had to like jump down onto the horse from the
They
plane.
jumped
right.
onto the horse somehow.
Yeah, because
Like,
he was some sort of jungle king or something, right? A legendary jungle.
Yeah.
yeah, like Central America or something, right?
Yeah,
We-
somewhere where his complexion and ethnicity did not match the legendary
Yeah.
god.
Exactly. Where they
Figure.
needed the great white hero to come and
Yes,
save them
exactly.
constantly.
Thank God you're here, Phantom.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't have a lot
Your
to say about that.
purple jumpsuit.
Yeah,
the
nothing
jungle.
blends in the jungle like purple.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
it's like
Lavender.
It'd be like
actually.
Black Panther being a Dutch guy, you know?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, exactly. Or, no, Belgium would be
Yeah,
even more,
Belgian. Yeah, exactly.
appropriate.
Fuck.
Like
Instead of
King
Black
Leopold made me the king of Wakanda.
is the Bel-
You can do
We
it.
gave you this super dope suit.
They call me the Belgium waffle.
Damned unsporting.
Damn, done sporting.
At number 41, we had Sergeant Kabukiman, NYPD, the second trauma hero on our list.
Kabukiman.
That song, no, don't get the song stuck in my head again. It had the best theme song ever.
It had a few elements that were okay, and it looked like maybe they were gonna, since Lloyd didn't direct that, right? I don't think so.
I don't know. I don't think he did.
But it looked like they were gonna take some of the funny stuff from Trauma and, run with it, but they went back to some of the gross shit. Assault and
Yeah, stuff that's not just like gross and out there, but like genuinely upsetting.
Upsetting, yeah. Yeah. But the guy who played him was pretty funny. Oh,
Yeah.
shit. The Kabuki Odd Couple. That's what they were watching.
Oh, yeah.
That was the play. And the dude who's murdered, assassinated.
Oh, that's
the first one.
right. That was the fucking
He falls out of the
play.
window with the tickets, or his wife does, to the fucking tickets to the Kabuki Odd Couple.
That's right.
Well, she had 2 children sitting there. She took those tickets out the window.
The Kabuki. Oh man.
These are hard. These are like Hamilton tickets.
And that one had its start in Toxie too, because they went to Japan and they got the help of was it Konami, I think,
Oh yeah.
to help fund Toxie 2, and they suggested they do a Kabukiman movie.
Right. To
Yeah.
do some figures for Kabuki.
Because Toxie at one point there was someone he was fighting who he called Kabukiman, and he looked similar, but he wasn't the same. I don't know, because he was an evildoer and not a do-gooder.
Yeah.
Well, he was the other Kabuki-Man, I assume.
He was evil Kabukiman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, that was in this movie.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. At number 40, The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Most recent one we've done this far down so far. That was
Lots of Sean Connery.
Yeah, Sean Connery's last movie. That movie ruined 2 careers. Sean Connery made it his last movie, and the director vowed to never direct another film.
That's crazy.
I'll make a movie with this dickhead.
It's like, no, don't make them with him. No, none.
Ever. I'm done.
I don't even want a giant check anymore.
Right.
What if we make it a bigger sized check?
Yeah, why don't we make even less Connery showing up? Would that help?
Nope.
But yeah, the new Tom Sawyer.
Modern
high
day
on
warrior, a mean me.
Yeah. He gets high on you.
I will note.
This was just such a departure from the book that it was so disappointing. They gave too much importance to Quartermain, Sean Connery, and they completely downplayed the roles of Mina Harker, Mina Murray, but she was in the book, and also Captain Nemo.
Who we thought was the dude from the West Wing.
Well, yeah, seriously, Toby Ziegler, man.
Yes.
But you're right. It was a lot of quarter. It was more like 3 Quartermain.
This movie, I would argue that this movie failed the Bechdel test worse than almost anything except for the Toxie movies.
Oh,
I think
God,
you're
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
There wasn't even a woman working on that submarine.
No, in Toxie 1, those two women were talking about murdering kids.
Yeah.
That passed the Bechdel test.
Well, so movie, the one female character in the entire movie, she's a vampire, and she is the love interest of every single man in the league, with the exception of Quartermain, who is in love with his dead son or something.
And Quartermain has to
Africa.
And Quartermain has to point out how it's his choice that he's not a love interest of hers.
Yeah. He's like, like, you gross me out. But Al's right. Again, the comic or the graphic novels were cool. But again, another great premise, like pulling notable, iconic characters from literary history, and they still made it so uninteresting.
Yeah. And I will never forget how much I hate the Venice sequence.
Oh, yeah, I'll never forget how you learned about dominoes.
Yeah, I just think that shouldn't have been Tom Sawyer. It should have been Mark Twain just running around like a maniac.
That would have been awesome.
That I don't know. Let's write a story about authors and characters.
He's like, did I ever tell you about the time I met a robot from the future? Oh my God, in that episode of Next Generation, Data's the Terminator. He's a robot from the future.
Oh my God.
That's right. That's true.
Number 39, moving along. We've got Steel, the Shack Attack.
So charming.
Yeah. It was a terrible movie, but I kind of loved it.
Yeah. I like watching Shaq smile. I don't know.
Well, there were some fun montages in this movie too of like them working on shit. Yeah. It was just so. God, it was like this was a movie made for young kids, definitely.
Oh sure.
But working on stuff in there. Go ahead.
Especially with all the finger banging.
All the finger banging. Steel.
Yeah, it was a fun movie. It was terrible, but it was fun. It was another one where the plan of the criminal was to start a war to sell weapons to both sides.
Yep.
That came back again and again. That was also League of Extraordinary Gentlemen's plan.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Morty.
Morty. Number 30.
And when we get their G.I. Joe.
Yep.
Oh no,
that's not on our list. That's not on
our list. That was a monthly movie.
Yeah.
Turtles in Time. It was the same premise.
Yeah.
Turtles in Time.
Yeah, that's right. Turtles in Time.
That dude was selling weapons to both sides.
Oh my God! It's all either about real estate, selling weapons to both sides, and charity balls.
Yeah. Again, it goes to like they just didn't understand what was interesting about comic books
at all.
At all.
No, not until like the MCU. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. They were never real world problems.
We get glimpses of it occasionally in the X-Men movies and in Spider-Man, you know.
Yeah.
And and like a little bit in the first Batman movie, like just a touch of it.
Yeah. You get some character.
Yeah.
It's informed with the comic,
Yeah.
But a lot of time they just through a villain's motivation. Yeah. So thin. Never mind.
So thin. Yeah, no, they're essentially just shady businessmen, a lot of these guys that like end up getting a gimmick. They're like, I'm all green and I shoot green stuff, so I'm green guy.
Yeah, if it's not selling weapons to the other side, it's real estate in one way or another. And we've broken that down before.
Yeah.
Real estate.
Well, actually, as we get to the Marvel movies, a lot of them are about selling weapons to both sides.
That's true.
It never stops. Number 38, Batman Forever.
Which was the third.
Which was the third one. No, not the last one. The third one. Kind of middle. Val Kilmer as Batman. What was this? This was Jim Carrey and Tommy Lee Jones. It was I don't know. It was what it was. It wasn't a good movie. It's the first.
I still say Jim Carrey did a great job, and I don't know what Tommy Lee Jones was doing.
No, Tommy Lee Jones was doing not
a lot.
Well, he certainly wasn't playing two characters as he was supposed to.
No, he wasn't.
Both sides of that guy were pretty fucking cuckoo.
Yeah, he was 100% cuckoo. I don't know. I don't have much to say about Batman Forever. It's not a great movie. It gave us Kiss by a Rose, which
true.
Which is the best part of the movie as far as I'm concerned.
And Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me, Kill Me.
Yeah, which is, I don't know, probably the 75th best U2 song.
Well, it also introduced the ins and outs of adopting a 25-year-old ward.
Right. And making him wear a costume with nipples on it.
Making him do anything. Like, I'm a few years younger than you. You adopted
chose to.
Yeah. Yeah, they chose. It was consensual.
It was consensual. Two-way adoption. They adopted each other.
Well, this is where we made the point of that. At this point, anyone really could play Batman, but it was about playing Bruce Wayne, and both Val Kilmer and George Clooney just shit the bed.
They were terrible Bruce Waynes, which is Clooney I thought would have been a great Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
No,
but
was
he
even
wasn't.
goofier and jokier. We'll get takeout.
Yeah.
Drive-through. Sorry, we'll get drive-through.
Moving on. 37. The Punisher, the 1989 version. We're coming up on another one soon, but this was 89's Punisher.
In Seattle.
In Seattle.
In the bloodthirsty, brutal
planet.
Yeah, the cleanest.
Yeah, the cleanest sewers. He drives his motorcycle out of the sewers somehow.
Because he meditates butt naked in those clean sewers. That's why his I don't know, his chakras are aligned or whatever.
Right. But we mentioned in this harbor city with water in and out of it.
Right.
If he's not killing people, he's meditating in the fucking sub-basements of some building. He's so fucking weird.
He's meditating in front of that fire and he just sweats himself clean.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the weirdest. That movie just makes me so uncomfortable thinking about it.
That movie is out of its mind.
Well, yeah, we mused where he got his, day-to-day living expenses. In the movie, they mentioned that Punisher has been low-key operating for 6 years before we joined the adventure. So nobody spotted him in Seattle in all this time.
Yeah,
and it's
like going to Whole Foods or anything.
Yeah, like going to Starbucks, going to like listen to Pearl Jam and Nirvana play.
Yeah, because it was that time. Totally.
And the best part of the movie was when Lou Gossett Jr. picks the pizza off the floor.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
No, even better than that is when he's running his hands through the box of gun shells that were evidence from the crime scene.
Right.
And he's spilling
His
them
evidence
out like
collection.
Yeah.
It's like, do you want to give that to forensics or something?
You put your hands completely in there. Well, we can't eliminate this cop.
Coming in at number 36, Daredevil. This movie really woke me up inside.
So funny, they're next to each other. These characters often are together in the comics.
Yeah,
they fight in the same universe against the same guys. So it's funny that we put these right next to each other. They both were disappointing where they could have been fun.
Yeah,
they both tried. Yeah, they both tried to be too gritty while also being really off the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, and another comic book movie where some people are into it and some people aren't, and it brings it down,
Yeah. I can't...
Like, Colin Farrell was in a cool movie, and Ving Rhames was in... Or Michael Clark Duncan was in a cool movie. Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner.
Ugh.
I don't know what they were... I don't know.
Yeah, Ben Affleck is... I don't know about what I feel about Ben Affleck at all. Jennifer Gardner is like the human equivalent of spackle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oatmeal.
Yeah.
Boring.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't have anything to say about Daredevil. The best part of it was how early 2000s the soundtrack is.
Oh, that's the worst part. Evanescence.
And Jon Favreau and Joey Pants.
Oh, that's right.
They were both good.
Yeah, Favreau was the best part of that, hands down.
Favreau is his law partner.
Foggy.
Yeah,
Fogginess.
Favreau. This was Favreau's first dip into the superhero world.
Mm-hmm.
Apart from Batman and Robin briefly, that was
Batman Returns.
where he didn't even have a line. He was just in the Batman Forever. He was in the
It was Returns. He was in the circus crew.
No.
Circus group?
No, he was in the entourage of chair people that were visiting the science lab.
Chair people. Oh,
Yeah,
chair
I've never
people. Okay.
The chair people have spoken.
People with whose society revolves around chairs. Okay.
Anyway, he was in a scene with Val Kilmer and Jim Carrey, but he didn't have a speaking line, and you saw him for like 2 seconds.
Okay, I forgot about that. Yeah.
But
I mean, Al, you're correct. In my mind, we had always said it was Return. That's weird that I had it confused. That sucks that he was in Forever.
Yeah.
Too bad.
Doug Jones, the guy who showed up in Returns.
Doug Jones.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's right. That's what we were bringing. Yeah.
Coming in at number 35, The Crow, City of Angels. That's the sequel. The one where they have like the evil drug corporation where they do bondage business.
Well, and wasn't it that dude had like an office on the top floor of a skyscraper, but it was this weird like ritual temple?
Yeah, where he did
and
like...
he had a blind witch and everything?
Yeah, he did like black magic and did bondage. He had bondage people just in the corners like all day long, like clocking in.
Like on the 45th floor was Merrill Lynch Insurance.
Right.
Renting out space like it's like a barber shop.
What do we call it? His bondage office or something like that?
Yeah. His bondage office. But but like the bondage people that were just standing around in full bondage gear strapped to walls all day long. Just like, I do it for the pension.
Nice work if you can get it.
Yeah. That's great.
The kids' braces don't pay for themselves.
I'll
put them on.
I looked ahead at the next Crow movie because we got another one coming up. It's actually the fourth one. The third one was never released to theaters, so we skipped it.
Oh.
But
the fourth one made it.
The fourth one made
That's
it into
promising.
theaters, and that shit is... I watched the trailer. That shit looks out of its goddamned mind. The cast is insane.
Well, like in
Edward,
a bad way.
Eddie better than Iggy Pop. And,
Edward Furlong plays the Crow, and the bad guy is David Boreanaz from Angel.
Yeah,
it looks.
Was this around the time that Eddie Furlong he got arrested at a supermarket in L.A. for taking all the lobsters out of the lobster tank and setting them free?
I don't know.
Quote.
Setting them free.
Yeah, he like put them all on the ground and was letting them all, you know.
Like, where are they going to go, Eddie?
Yeah. Don't tell them about the frozen seafood.
You're in Omaha. Where are they?
But it was around this time because we first saw him in Terminator 2. And so it was. I think it must have been around this Crow time.
I honestly did he have like a good movie after T2? I can't think of a single thing he did post T2.
Well, he saved those lobsters. That's all.
That's it. Yeah. So
maybe
Pet Cemetery.
Oh,
Pet Cemetery 2 was Celebrity Boy.
I don't remember.
He wasn't in the first one.
I think it was 2. He was Celebrity Boy. That's.
Maybe I should save it for the first Crow, but I love that I legitimately haven't gotten a satisfying answer, but we still haven't decided if it's the Crow, the bird, or if it's the spirit, or
or if
the first one was definitely the Crow.
Yeah,
the bird.
It was definitely this one. I'm not so sure
because some people believe.
Yeah, some people believe. The tag for the next one, they start with "I believe." It's like, okay, so we're finally narrowing it down.
You made this shit up.
I actually caught a little bit of it, and they said people once believed.
Oh, people once believed. Okay.
Yeah.
It's still vague,
but some people believed was just better. It's funnier.
Yeah. All right.
So
that became our running gag.
Right. Coming in at number 34, we got Hulk. Not the Hulk, just Hulk. Ang Lee's wild fever dream of something.
I'm sorry, real quick. The Crow, City of Angels, that was the introduction of Corn Week.
That's right. Corn Week.
And hats off for Corn Week.
Is it still Corn Week, guys?
Why not?
Yeah, it still is.
Yeah.
Jerry, this is going out to you. It's still Corn Week.
It's still Corn Week.
So,
watch your back.
Yeah. So Hulk was crazy. It had the whole panels going on, the wipes, the like rocks and lichen. Five solid minutes of shots of lichen.
Yeah, reproducing. But it mostly was about their dads. And how weird dads are.
Yeah, dads are weird.
Whether they're Nick Nolte or Sam Elliott, They're gonna mess you up.
That's a weird property to put dads on, because there's a lot of superheroes that have like parent issues, but Hulk was never one of them.
No.
Yeah.
No, they cut Nick Nolte.
Yeah.
He was just a scientist that was in an accident, sort of Dr. Manhattan style. There was no Nick Nolte like dad that like, I will unconsciously continue your work.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll accidentally.
He accidentally went into the same exact field.
He didn't know his dad worked with Gamma anything. He didn't know he had a dad. And then we did make the joke of, a lot of people probably don't remember when you could bring a whole pack of dogs into an emergency room. Into an ICU unit.
Poodles. Just ridiculous too, right?
Yeah, a poodle, a pit bull.
He walks up. He's in a secret government laboratory, and he turns and there's a random poodle there, and he's like, "Hey, who do you belong to?" And the dog tries to bite him, and he just walks away like, "Oh well, I'll leave it at that."
He's like, Colonel Poodle.
You should have called Stan Lee to take care of that dog.
Yeah. So yeah, that's
or Lou Ferrigno. One of the two.
Yeah.
Or whoever works on Scooby's dick.
Yeah, I didn't check. Did that dog have a dick?
It had a Gamma dick.
It had 2 dicks.
In a trench coat.
2 dicks on top of each other in a trench coat.
Trying to look longer.
I'm just trying to see the rated R movie, man.
So yeah, Hulk was not good.
No, it wasn't. And number 33, we've got Toxie 2, Toxic Avenger Part 2. We've already pretty much covered it.
The Hulk.
It is better than the Hulk.
It is. I think it is.
It's better than everything we've named up to this point. I think it's in a good spot. Toxie 2 was fun.
The whole everything in Japan was really charming.
It was.
The moment that he was on the windsurfing,
everything,
right?
But
montage,
right?
Where were they? San Francisco or something?
No, New Jersey. He had to go around South America. Unless he went through the canal. I don't know if he went through the Panama Canal or if he went around South America and across the Pacific, or did he go around Cape Horn and through the Indian Ocean?
Panama.
Which way did he go?
Or did he find the Northern Passage through the Arctic Ocean over Siberia?
Did he finally accomplish what Henry Hudson could not?
Did he?
Just melting his way through. Yeah, that moment made the movie just like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah. No,
and for a while we wondered if it was just because it was such a departure from how disturbing the first one was. And it was a departure, but no, it was genuinely like I wanted to be in that Japan.
Yeah. It was fun and friendly and interesting. It was great.
Had adorable kids.
Yeah.
The newscasters.
Yes.
Yeah.
They had their thing going on in the background. Yeah. It was great. It was fun.
Or the spa where people are in the hot baths and then he's throwing like vegetables and ramen noodles in.
Yeah,
making a hot pot.
I loved that they didn't bother to subtitle any of the Japanese.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, that was great. That was great.
It just makes it chaos.
Yeah.
Like with the newscaster, everything that he was. The newscaster, everything that he was telling us so much with his face and his motion,
his gesticulating.
We didn't need to know exactly what he was saying. It was just great.
Yeah,
it all worked.
Yeah, no, it was great. Coming at number 32, Howard the Duck. I'm not sure that's better than Toxie 2, actually.
Yeah, I don't know if it is
a better song.
Yeah, well,
this was the introduction of Duck Facts.
That's right, yep. Duck Facts. Woo! Yeah, Howard it gave us duck boobs with
duck nipples.
I was gonna say that are the same consistency as duck bills, so hard and orange.
And the fleshy palms.
Oh,
fingernails.
Fleshy duck
And the
palm.
fingernails, yeah.
Oh, God, I hate it all. I hate it so much. George Lucas, what hath thou wrought?
Yeah.
That movie, oh, God, that movie is something
But
else.
we learned that Cleveland was Hunger City.
That's right. Cleveland.
Cleveland. Cleve means to cut. Yeah, weird.
Yeah. Yeah, Howard the Duck is a crazy movie. If you haven't seen it, it's worth a watch just for like how out of its mind 80s it is.
If you're ever curious about duckophilia.
Yeah.
And I know I have been.
Hey, are you into highly sexualized anthropomorphic ducks? Then we've got a movie for you.
We did a PSA during that because she's going through his wallet and Howard has the unwrapped condom.
Right.
You're like, if you use that, your partner's going to get a UTI. We're like, it's like linty for her pleasure.
Yeah, do not take your condoms out of their packaging and put them in your wallet.
One thing we
later
missed,
use.
shouldn't the duck condom have been like corkscrew shaped?
Yes, it should have.
That was a duck fact.
Yes, ducks have corkscrew-shaped penises. Something that's come up far too often on this podcast.
Just letting the people know.
That's right. And keeping with the bird theme, 31, Condorman.
Whoa.
Condorman.
One of our few 70s ones. I forgot that there was... Or was that 1980? I can't remember.
It was 1981 because you said, and I wrote this down. I love it.
Oh, God.
That you when you did the recap of the year, you were like, 1981, the year that the first space shuttle launched, David Hinckley impressed the shit out of Jodie Foster. And then a couple other items. I love that.
Yeah. She was impressed. Perhaps
She
not.
was. That was impressive.
Yeah,
he didn't even know she was gay.
Right? What do you think he did when he found out? Was he like, come on?
She wouldn't have been impressed by anything.
That was such a waste.
Like, no, Reagan was kind of... Condorman. As we know, Alaric Weber is the vulture of the southwestern skies.
Yes.
But this was a dude who was a comic book artist, and he wouldn't draw or write anything in his comic if he himself could not pull it off.
Not do it.
Yeah.
That's expensive.
Stan Lee does the same thing.
Jumps off the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
If you've never seen Stan Lee Hulk out, it's something you should witness.
Did you intern at Marvel?
Right. He doesn't actually turn green and get larger. He just rips his clothes off and screams.
Starts punching
people running around. Yeah. He's got that old man strength. Well, not anymore.
Yeah. So yeah, the Condorman. It was a movie.
It was made by Disney.
Yeah, it was.
You could tell, and it was totally made up, no source material, which you could tell.
It was about on the level of My Mother the Car.
Yep. And again, one of the big plot points is delivering some fucking paperwork to Istanbul.
Yes. Something that can be done by email now.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and the side character is already a CIA agent, but they need to recruit this Condorman guy.
Right.
Michael Crawford, he was the Phantom of the Opera. He's Condorman.
Yes.
Yeah, it was just weird. It was just odd.
It was a very strange movie.
I hope they bring it
and the
back.
slow ass flying where they're just slowly floating away.
Hey, Brian just made a good point, though.
What was that?
I hope they bring it back. I hope they revamp Condorman.
Oh yeah,
he could be in the MCU.
He's a Disney property. Yeah. Coming
I'll bring the dip. You bring the Dostoevsky.
Coming in at number 30, kind of same era, Hero at Large.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Another weird one.
Yeah, John Ritter. But dude, is just a guy who. So he's like one of those guys that stands in Times Square dressed as Superman, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. He would go to like openings of Jiffy Lubes and shit.
Yeah.
As the character, but the main point when it's all said and done, it's just about making people feel good.
Yeah.
That's all he was trying to do.
Yeah.
He's not even really a villain.
No. And he had like one scene where he actually did something heroic, and it was like mostly on accident. Yeah.
When he got shot was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just when he finally realized, oh, they're using real bullets.
Wait a minute.
Real bullets.
I had remembered this joke, but I still wrote it down. So he's always hitting on his neighbor. Her name was Jay something. But he's just aggressively hitting on her, and she keeps putting him off. In fact, she has a date coming with her boyfriend, but she's standing at a drafting table by her window with all these papers and rolls of papers on it. And he's like, come on, let's go out and get some dinner or whatever. And she's like, I have plans.
She had the plan.
Standing at a drafting table with schematics rolled out. Yeah, it wasn't supposed to be a joke, but it's the best one in the movie.
It is. Coming in at number 29, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3.
This is the time traveling one.
Yeah, Turtles in Time. They go back to the past, and samurai from the past come to the present and play video games and eat pizza and get drunk.
Yeah, they become turtles like teenage.
They become turtles.
Turtles.
They play video games and get drunk.
Because if you're a herpetologist, you know what turtles are like.
They're all the same.
Yeah.
Eat pizza, drink beer.
Cowabungus.
Skateboard.
Radicalis.
Yeah, it was not a great movie.
No.
In reality, most turtles are lactose intolerant.
So
yeah, that's true. They wouldn't want all that cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah, Turtles 3. It was the third one, and they made it.
Yeah, it was a cookie cutter. Yeah, it was a product.
Yeah, for sure. Number 28, our very first movie, Superman and the Mole Men.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, that's the one.
You'll be Texas.
Yeah, that's the one that gave us our name. It's the one that gave us a bunch of our original weird things that we talk about. And it was very much a movie from the 50s.
Yeah.
So buried tools, oranges.
Which we still don't understand why they were burying the tools.
Radioactive oranges.
Well, and they were digging tools. That was the extra irony.
Yes.
Tools for digging, being buried. But yeah, the oranges.
Races.
How did they get on the floor?
How did these oranges?
I think Clark asks that. Or maybe
I think
it was Lois,
I just discovered gravity.
Be like, you're a reporter, right? Right, Clark?
Yeah, that's why I came down to Texas to look at a hole. 'Cause I'm a reporter.
Oh, God.
But
yeah, the world's deepest hole? Was that what they said?
Yes,
Yep,
the world's
the
deepest hole.
The world's deepest hole.
I mean, I don't doubt it's in Texas, but nonetheless.
Yeah, the biggest hole is. But it gave us who became sort of an archetype, Luke Benson.
Oh yeah,
the guy that ignores how powerful Superman is.
Yeah,
The guy who's always forming a posse.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Always.
in the 50s where you could still just form a posse.
Yeah, I can't remember the names, but there were like 3 different posses. They had names. There was like somebody in the Tall Boys.
Right, the Tall
Boys. This small ass town had 3 different posses.
Oh my God. Yeah, that. Yeah.
I just looked at the world's deepest oil well. There was more than 6 miles down.
Wow. Yep.
And then Lois says, "Why, that's practically to the center of the earth."
And Clark's like, "Oh, Lois,
shut up,
you stupid woman."
Are you on your menses? It's a hole.
Yeah. There's not really much to say about it other than it's a very 50s movie.
Yeah, it is. It's fun though. The Molemen themselves are hilarious.
Yeah.
I was listening to some of it. Brian talking about the foot race. There is 15 minutes.
Just running around the desert,
chasing around.
Yeah.
We couldn't decide children not. And I also love that for half of the whole podcast, a couple of us, I can't remember which two thought. Oh, it was Brian and I thought that they were wearing turtlenecks. Head slack. And then Al explained it was their furry bodies. It's like
That's right.
I had a whole race of molemen wearing turtlenecks. Corduroy.
They're like, would you like to come in and listen to some smooth jazz and drink some brandy?
Come on.
So
check it out though.
This past month or so, I've been watching Lois and Clark for the first time ever because I never really watched it when it was on.
Okay.
And I came to the realization that their flying effects, there's a lot of Superman jumping on and off camera, just like in this movie. That effect has not changed a whole lot.
At least until through the 90s, at least it didn't.
Right. They did have some better flying effects, like actually showing him flying, but there was a lot of jumping on and off camera.
Yeah,
still.
And they don't cut quite soon enough, so you just hear him thump down. Coming in at number 27, Turtles 2. This is
The Secret.
Yeah, The Secret of the Ooze, which is apparently Vanilla Ice.
That's the secret.
Yeah, Vanilla Ice
is the secret.
Is this just a pinch of ice?
Vanilla Ice.
Makes it.
It's also
palatable.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's also the name of my favorite kind of meth.
Vanilla Ice.
Yeah,
it is the best kind. With soy milk, though. And the whole premise of the movie was just to mutate two other animals.
Yeah.
There was nothing on either side of that event.
It was basically to make Rocksteady and Bebop, except they didn't.
Yep.
They made ones no one ever heard of.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It was what it was. Go Ninja, go Ninja, go.
Go Ninja, go.
26. The Meteor Man. With Robert Townsend. It was it was like a superhero comes to 227.
Yeah, and the Crips and the Bloods come together.
That's right.
To fight.
Who ultimately save the day?
Johnny by Nature and Cypress Hill, right?
Yeah.
Right? And even Another Bad Creation.
Another Bad Creation. That's right.
Yeah, and that's where we got like kids cocking guns and then throwing guns.
Oh, that's right. Was this the movie with the blonde gang?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
God, what were they called?
The Baby Lords.
The Baby Lords.
They were the
Golden Lords.
The Golden Lords and the Baby Lords. That's right.
That's so funny.
Oh yeah.
And what was there was a group in between.
There
was another one.
They were like the teenage lords, but
somebody
there was another.
Somebody famous was one of those guys too. I forget who it was.
Yeah, one of the Golden Lords.
Was it War Machine?
Yeah.
Don Cheadle. That's right.
Yes.
Oh, it was Don Cheadle.
Don Cheadle. So funny, man.
I forgot. Yeah. Yeah, Don Cheadle was a Golden Lord. Well, he still is kind of a Golden Lord, but in a different way.
In my book, anyway.
Yeah, yeah. Whew.
I got to
that movie was really interesting.
I got to figure out what those other lords were.
Okay.
Well, there was another group, and they were sort of like dandies, like they had
the Dandy Lords.
No, they weren't Lord affiliated.
Don Cheadle's character was Goldilocks.
Don Cheadle as Goldilocks in the brand new series, Hansel and Gretel.
Junior Lords.
Okay.
Junior, so it's like a Cub Scout type situation.
Yeah. Junior Lords.
Baby Lords, Junior Lords, and the Golden Lords.
And then the Weeblos.
Be like, I got my pin, now I'm an Eagle Lord. That was number 26. 25, halfway through the list here, guys. Supergirl. Squirt. Yes. Oh, yes.
Boy, Peter O'Toole.
Yeah, with our probably most, classic Western actor.
Yeah, that's like having, what's his name in Star Wars?
Yeah, Alec Guinness. They were trying to make him like the Alec Guinness of the series. But yeah, and for some reason, they paid for Mia Farrow, who, was a very well-known and expensive actress at that time, to say 3 lines.
They have Faye Dunaway. They have Peter Cook.
Yeah.
They got Matt Frewer, who wasn't a big name there. But, there's people in this movie. Chris Reeves just refused to be. So they explained away Kal-El.
Yeah, so instead they get Jimmy Olsen, who's there to hit on Lois Lane's underage sister.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lucy Lane. Yeah.
Lucy Lane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, Superman was like a million light years away.
Yeah.
So he couldn't help.
Yeah, it was a crazy... And it also sparked a debate among us whether it was 6-dimensional geography or 6-dimensional geometry.
Right.
Oh, that's right.
It was
the,
geometry. I just heard it wrong.
Which helped make no more sense of anything.
Yeah, both ways are not good. But also...
And we learned that you can, in the greater Chicago area, you can rent an abandoned funhouse. Because they weren't just squatting there.
No,
they had to pay water and power.
They did.
The witches.
The witches. They were witches, and she brought a magic castle forth into this small town, which was a suburb of Chicago.
Yeah. And she was paying property taxes and water and power on this abandoned funhouse.
And she decided to take over the universe because she was behind in her utility bill.
I know the feeling.
Yeah, that's how I get.
Yeah, Supergirl 25. And now we're in the top half of the list. It's all uphill from here. I don't know. Downhill? I don't know how that works. Blankman at number 24.
Damon Wayans.
Yeah.
David Allen Greer.
in the movie that they made because they couldn't make Handyman.
Yes.
Did I mention that I watched this movie twice in 24 hours?
That's some crazy shit, Al.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It had jokes.
It did. It wasn't bad. It was very middle of the pack. Very middle of the pack. It was fine for an early 90s comedy superhero film, which is totally what it was. And my understanding is that it's a very beloved among a certain generation of African American viewers.
Yeah. I can believe it.
Was fun.
Yeah. It's a Wayans movie.
Yeah. So it was fine. Let's see. Number 23, The Return of Swamp Thing. Wow, Swamp Thing is way up here, both of them.
Yeah, it's a
we're idiots.
with.
How did this get so high up? That wasn't really a very good
How
movie.
did either of them? Dude, and now we're laughing at ourselves, but I was listening to some early episodes. Once we decided Swamp Thing was good, we're talking a little too seriously. I felt like we needed to back up.
No. Return of Swamp Thing with Heather Locklear.
Yeah. And Tubers.
And those two fucking kids that are wandering around the swamp.
Omi and somebody else. Damn.
And they got their pornos and their Pepsi and their chocolate bars.
Well,
and then they find
that was the first one. One of them runs a store, right? That was the first one, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was Jude in the first one who runs the store. He was great.
Jude, yeah.
Yeah, you got that voice. He's like, I don't know, Swamp Thing.
He had to deliver
what
pizzas on a boat.
Swamp Thing on the list.
Where is
chronologically?
We'll get there. We'll get up there. Oh, chronologically?
No. I mean Swamp Thing 2, this one that we're on right now.
Oh, chronologically?
Yeah.
It was after we did Superman 4, and right before that was Howard the Duck. Right after Return of Swamp Thing is Batman, where we
so it was like 88, I think.
88.
Yeah.
It was number 13 on the list.
As far as chronologically goes.
Chronologically, yeah.
Yeah.
So Arcane was making hybrid animal human hybrids and stuff.
Right.
They had the lab, and we pointed out the big percolating vat of Kool-Aid that they had in there, and the disintegration booth.
That's right.
And you pointed out, I think the U.S. military would be interested in that alone.
Right, and they're trying to make money. That's the whole thing. They're just trying to make money, but they've got all this crazy technology that they could sell.
Dude,
and they have
Kool-Aid go for quite a bit of money.
Yeah, exactly. It's for when you're working in the lab. You just have a little Kool-Aid, right?
A little triangle paper cut.
And they have a Smokey and the Bandit type sheriff.
Yeah, they do.
Interacts with Arcane.
Yeah, no, and he comes over and he's like, well, I see you got some mighty nice ladies here.
Jesus, scientist.
I ain't never heard of such a thing.
You can get my jeans.
Return of Swamp Thing was, I think, a little more fun than the first Swamp Thing.
Oh, yeah. It was way campier.
Definitely way more lighthearted and campier. And it did have our first, comic book sequence at the beginning with the credits.
That's right.
On by you.
All right, maybe.
Well, and Heather Locklear was straight up comic relief. She was funny.
Oh, yeah. All right, maybe 23 is a fine place for it, I guess.
All right.
Coming in at number 22, Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Buffy.
The movie, which is not nearly as good as the show, but it's good. We had Andy on for that one. Josh's lovely wife. And
I have a joke written down. I believe Brian said it, but we were talking about watchers and how that works. And one of us was like, "Is he a watcher as a baby?" And you're like, "All babies are watchers. That's pretty much all they do."
Right.
Something like that. Are you a watcher? I can't fucking tell. It was fun. Yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah, I mean it's fine. It is what it is. It's very early 90s. It's got the seeds of a lot of stuff that would come later. It's Joss Whedon, who apparently is not
fun to work with.
Who's apparently maybe getting canceled. It's hard to tell. I don't know, but he
I haven't heard.
The dude that played Cyborg hates Joss Whedon a lot.
Yeah. Well, I think he ultimately got edited out of the movie.
Yeah.
Way more than it was.
And who's Cyborg? Oh, Justice League.
Yeah.
Working on that. Yeah, well, fuck that kid.
Yeah. But but whatever. He planned to
some people dig holes.
Yeah. He's the dude that brought us the Avengers. So he's pretty important, and I'm personally a fan of his work, whatever personal issues he has. He hasn't done any Weinstein level stuff or anything. So,
That's what I'm going to say. Yeah, cancel culture maybe needs to fucking back up for a minute. If you harm or,
I don't
do anything to another person, being an asshole, I'm sorry. I
don't think Joss Whedon's getting canceled, but I think that a lot of people were calling him an asshole on set.
That's fine. People that make $7 an hour work with assholes.
Totally.
Right? Yeah,
totally.
For sure.
So,
and
fuck that complaint.
Yeah, let's not forget, Joss Whedon exists in an industry with Robert Evans. So
Yeah, I'm sorry. Asshole's a different thing.
Yeah,
it may feel assaultive, but it's not. There are assholes in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a certain point where being a hard-ass director turns into being Kubrick, and he is definitely not at that level.
No, absolutely not. What they're complaining about is that he talked shit about the Snyder version of Justice League on set. And sure, maybe that's a dick move, but that's all it is.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's tacky.
Yeah.
We've all had that boss.
Yeah, for sure. That doesn't, that's not the same as like fucking what's his face from X-Men raping underage boys. Oh, that's not the same thing.
Sorry, we had to. Yeah, it's not. So anyways, what's after
coming
Buffy?
in at number 21, Superman 3, The Quest for Richard Pryor.
Wait, Superman 3? Yeah.
Where Richard Pryor just writes the world's smartest computer program and
to steal.
He
becomes a billionaire overnight.
Yeah, which was the same thing they did in Office Space. Well, except they didn't become billionaires.
Oh, and they even talked about it, so it was referential. But the best part about the podcast episode is all of the different kryptonite that Al runs down for us.
That's right.
So much so, it's so long that Brian forgets even what we're talking about. He's like, so do these affect him differently? And Al, I was like, yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. Yeah, so many kinds. Periwinkle, green,
that was a
gold, blue.
That was
still the periwinkle away from like the cobalt or blue
right
kryptonite.
That was a fun bit of research to do.
Yeah,
that might have been my favorite so far.
It's actually funny to listen to. Yeah, we all sort of get lost in this list. I don't even know how long the whole thing takes.
It was, 25 minutes of kryptonite.
No, it just felt that way.
Like that song background, real gently.
This was the movie he came back with after the fire incident. By the way, everybody.
Yeah, this was his comeback movie.
He was great.
Yeah.
Like, all the beats were there. It was funny.
But the villain was Robert Vaughn, who wanted to control the coffee commodity market.
That's all he wanted to do.
He took computer control over oil tankers to keep the coffee from being shipped, but they were full of crude oil, which is worth way more than coffee. Yeah, it was just some bad villain shit. He could control the weather with computers. Nobody knew what computers were for.
Nobody knew what computers were for in 1983.
Coffee was only his first step. Then he decided to that if he could control the coffee, then he could control the oil too.
And if he can control the oil, then he can control the women.
Control the women, yeah. It's the Montana principle. We've all been to business school. But yeah, there was Bizarro Superman, which was fun.
That's right, Bizarro Superman. I forgot about that part of it.
After he controlled the women, he was going to move on to bricks.
Yeah,
that was stage 4.
And I have it written down. I don't know what we were talking about, but we were talking about Animal Farm. And Thoreau, you brought up, you turned to me and said, I'm reading George Orwell's Animal House.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Love that anecdote. But in this one, we think Superman gets a blowjob, and he straight up doesn't save people.
Yeah, for sure. He's just bad, which is the point of the movie.
I don't do that anymore.
Yeah, Superman 3. And number 20, teenage. What? Before we go there, Superman 3. I forgot. It ends with him just dropping Richard Pryor off at like a random construction site and being like, "Get a job here."
A coal mine.
Yes, that's right. It's a coal mine. It's like, get a job here, computer guy.
Superman takes a piece of coal, turns it into a diamond on the spot, but leaves Richard Pryor to make maybe a middle management income.
What? He's assuming that dropping off some random dude at a random coal mine, he's going to get a job.
Who is a computer phenom? Out of nowhere.
What the fuck? All right, so number 20. Number 20, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It was a good movie.
Well, this set the standard for if you're going to be an arch villain, you need to set up a Boys and Girls Club type situation.
Yes, you got to do something for the community.
Video games,
need arcades. Yeah, that's a really
set
work.
Up
bumper boats, go karts,
and evil.
Yeah, it was good. It was the Jim Henson's Creature Shop did the costumes.
Yeah, I remember those being impressive.
The animatronic faces too.
Yeah. Corey Feldman voiced one of them. It was good. I don't know.
Oh, Donatello, which we believe had a learning disability.
That's right. And yeah, I still this was very big to me in middle school. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie. I believe I have already rapped the first verse of the song, so I'm not going to subject you to it again.
And Corey Feldman came back for 3, but not 2.
Right.
I think he was in all 3, wasn't he?
I don't think he was in the second one.
I think that was right.
Weird.
Because the second one was all about the character Kino, who how do I not remember his name? But anyways, he was in 3 Ninjas and all that. He was a martial arts star
that's
at
right.
the time.
That's right. Yeah.
So Corey wasn't in that one. I don't know. Yeah.
Coming in at number 19, Darkman, our first Sam Raimi joint that we watched. Oscar Schindler, Qui-Gon Jinn.
How's the skin going?
How's the skin going? And his lab is above his apartment.
Well, or is it
he lives behind a deli, which his lab is above, or a coffee shop or something like that.
A coffee shop?
In a like gentrified looking neighborhood in LA.
Yeah.
And it was at the docks.
Right. So that's what I meant by gentrified. Like it still looks sort of industrial, but then there's like, cafes and shit.
Yeah, exactly. There's hipsters like are having open mic night.
The dancing freak.
And we found out that the most essential part of a science lab is the water drinking bird.
That's right.
Yep.
The Nostromo's got one.
Stupid bird. It's the last time I leave you in charge.
Right.
Yeah. That his skin thing was very disturbing, but very Raimi.
What was the mechanic again? He could make skin that lasted for 24 hours, or
no, it was like 99 minutes.
Oh yeah, it was exactly
99 minutes.
Yeah, which comes up with some madcap scenarios. He's got to get out of the room.
Well, yeah, and he's at the he's at like the fair, and he's like, no, right. It's been 99 minutes. I gotta go.
As time flies.
Cinderella.
You'd be like, I spent so much time looking for a better parking space. I should have just parked further away and walked.
That time. I know. Yeah.
Take the fucking elephant.
Take the fucking elephant.
I think it was an elephant.
I think so too.
I think it was, yeah. Oh, God, Darkman. We're in our top 20 now, by the way, guys. Number 18, The Rocketeer. That was fun.
Yeah.
Very stylized. Yeah.
Yeah, very like early 90s Disney live action fun. I don't know. Yeah.
We use the phrase a couple times to the point where then we start laughing at it, but Nazi sympathizers. People that felt bad when the Nazis felt bad.
Well, James Bond was the bad guy, right?
Yeah, Timothy Dalton.
Yeah, Timothy Dalton.
That's right.
Yeah. He was
playing Errol Flynn.
Basically, yeah, exactly. And he was into the Nazis. And the gangsters. The mafia was like, hey, we may be the mafia, but we're all American.
Yeah.
Remember when Nazis were bad guys?
Yeah, and that wasn't controversial?
Yep.
Yeah.
When I was doing the Harmless Phosphorescence YouTube playlist, which, by the way, dear listeners, there is a Harmless Phosphorescence YouTube playlist featuring songs from our comic book movies.
Mine songs.
I threw in some theme songs when there weren't pop songs, but listening to The Rocketeer actually made me wistful for this movie. I don't know. It had a cool score.
It did.
It had a color palette to it.
Who did the score? Was it what's his face? Star Trek guy. What was his name?
Oh, Jerry Gold.
Was it Goldsmith?
Yeah, maybe. Probably.
I don't know. We're not going to look it up. If you want to look it up, go ahead. Yeah.
It's not a bad movie. It's not all that satisfying as a superhero movie, but it's really fun as a Disney adventure.
Yeah,
movie.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Absolutely.
And Jennifer Connelly was a decent female character.
She was.
Yeah. Finally, yeah.
She was like the first non-idiot female character.
That's right.
I think. I don't know.
Well, we were so used to Lois.
Oh God, Lois. Okay. Yeah. So coming in at number 17 above the Rocketeer, we've got The Mask. Jim Carrey's big blockbuster breakthrough.
As a boy born with a congenital. We have made the Eric Stoltz. I have. I shouldn't say we. I'm sorry to bring you all down in the interrogation. I won't say we.
The man of the annoying overbite.
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
According to Gene or Roger.
Yes, it's overbite. What the hell, Gene? It was Gene.
Yeah, he wasn't on the ground floor of Jim Carrey.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, I mean, The Mask. It's just Jim. It's just a Jim Carrey movie. I don't know. I don't have much to say about The Mask.
It's fun. It's one of my favorite Jim Carrey movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Of that era.
It did CGI really well in an era where it was brand new.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's see. Number 16, Mystery Men.
That's a good movie. That's a fun movie.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remains fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lots of fart jokes.
Lots. Yes, with Paul Rubens, Pee Wee Herman.
Well, so many, yeah. Well, and with like a lot of these that failed, it creates its own universe and its own heroes just in that movie, and there's no problem with it.
Yeah.
Compared to our Condorman.
Yeah, exactly.
Heroes at large and such.
Yeah, movies that make up their own heroes can be real hit or miss, but they did a pretty good job in that one.
Yeah, I buy all of it.
Yeah, for sure. Number 5.
There were like 2 or 3 characters that came from the comics, and the rest were created for the film.
Right, there was a Dark Horse. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, the Mr.
I guess I take back everything I just
Mr. Furious was from the comics. Paul Rubens Spleen. He was from the comics, and there might have been one more, but I can't remember.
You know,
the shoveler.
Oh.
You know what? You know what just occurred to me along with our list, because we have a bit of an extended list for after we run out of because at some point we're going to catch up to theatrically released superhero movies in the next couple of years. I just thought of one I'd never thought of before to add to our list of further extended viewing afterwards. Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog.
Oh.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. Anyway, so moving on, number 15, Blade 2. The one where he joins up with the vampires to fight worse vampires.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fine. It was Guillermo del Toro, our first.
Yeah.
So it looked good, at least. It was a visually pleasing movie. And
if you like blood.
Right.
And who doesn't?
Or if you can only picture vampires as these like ravers.
Right.
And sort of like.
Yeah, exactly. I'm
500
years old, but I'm going to wear leather and listen to techno.
Right. This is what we want to be doing.
Yeah.
This is our. Yeah, we're immortal. Yeah, we have powers, but this is how we get down.
Yeah, we rave all night long.
We get piercings and shit.
Yes. I was born in 1853, but I'm definitely getting a septum piercing.
Yeah, I think it looks good with my mohawk.
I think a lot of those ravers were actually turned like last week because.
I see.
Because when all the chaos breaks out, the Panic at the Disco, they freak out. They're not the hardcore.
They're
vampires.
not that. So I see. So when blood comes out of the sprinkler system, they're still a little.
Somebody just went and turned an entire rave.
I'll stand still for a minute.
The sprinkler blood was from the first Blade, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't have sprinkler blood in the second one. That was Blade 1.
But
it would put out a fire. It would be weird.
Yes, it would be weird.
Smell terrible.
It would smell terrible, yeah. A lot of iron.
It's like pennies.
In the fire.
It's like pennies from heaven.
Yeah, it's gonna taste like that. All right, yeah. So they made it. It was made.
Yeah, it was good. It was pretty good. It was number 15 on our list. Number 14, Superman 2, the movie that taught
the Zod Squad.
The Zod Squad. I love those guys. Terrence Stamp and the other two.
All right, so the funniest thing we said, or one of the things, it was a good episode, but we talked again about how there were different shots from different angles of the naked Kal-El, the baby dick.
Yeah.
that we saw in 2 movies. And Brian was like, I wonder if that guy ever worked again, because he's like, everyone has seen me naked. You say, I'm going to Google that kid. And we almost all unanimously like, you better not. You better. That kid is dead as far as we're concerned.
So I have an update. I have an update on this kid. He had a cameo in Man of Steel.
From the waist down.
Yes, he was naked, lying in a hole.
Drops.
Naked, lying in a hole.
No, standing triumphantly in a hole.
That's right.
For all the world to see.
Windmilling like a superhero.
Yeah, this was like the worst choice ever.
Yeah.
To shoot this kid that way. Just like, we're going to get multiple shots of him.
Yeah,
like it's
2 directors, Richard Donner and Richard Lester.
Both used the shots. Yeah, no, it's 1977. Nothing can go wrong here, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be disco forever.
And not to like sexualize nudity in any way, but like, why?
Why?
Just, yeah.
Why didn't he have Superman colored underoos on or something?
Yeah. It's so weird.
Yeah. But Superman 2, that taught us that if you love somebody, then fuck the rest of the world.
Yeah. And also, it's fine to gaslight them.
Yeah.
It's totally okay.
Oh my God.
It's totally okay to do it. It's okay to use your superpowers to fuck with the memory of the woman you love.
Or travel in time. That's the first one. But
oh, God, yeah.
Or turn time backwards. Or, whatever you need to do to get your... I had written down a note from actually Supergirl where Al had said, we were talking about how Kal-El was so singularly driven compared to her. Al said, fucking him punching. Story. It's all he's about, man.
Oh, God. I love that theme song. Fucking and punching.
Yeah.
Parentheses. Kal-El's theme.
By Jerry Reed. He's burning now.
I think yeah. Okay.
Punching and a fucking.
I recently came across a list of little-known superpowers that Superman had that were from the comics and from the movies, and the amnesia kiss was on it. But at some point in the comics, he did have like telepathy, and one of his more useless powers, he even had like phone telepathy. When the phone rang, he knew who was calling.
He had caller ID.
Yeah, so he's like a dog, sits by the door, but a few minutes later there's a ring.
So as much as we make fun of like powers that come up in the movies, especially the Donner movies, or whatever, who's the other Richard?
Lester.
He made some dick moves.
The dick movies.
Yeah, the dick movies. There are so many ridiculous superpowers that Superman had in the comics that we've just forgotten about. Well, probably on purpose.
It's funny that you say that, yeah, because during Superman 4, there's a scene where in a museum, Superman's hair is holding up a very large weight and they're like, his hair is indestructible. And we laughingly were like, how does he shave? I think Brian said, cut his hair. How does he cut his hair? Blah, it's indestructible. And then Al, you had actually an explanation from the cartoon. And then I would just frustratingly say, the stupid fucking shit they have to do to make this idiot some kind of normal.
Right.
And I think it was he uses his heat vision in the mirror.
Yeah, it reflects off the mirror.
and burns his own hair off.
That's got a smell.
Wait.
Coming in at number.
Oddly, it smells like pennies.
Yeah, pennies from
like
heaven.
A blood sprinkler.
He sometimes uses the reflective heat vision on his own to shave his pubes. When he's gonna.
Well, that's how the conversation started, actually.
When he's gonna be in the fucking portion of the fucking and punching.
Yeah, it's a 2-tiered attack.
For America. That sounds like the America story. Fucking and punching.
Fucking and punching.
Oh God, yeah.
100 years of badassery.
That was the book from Californication.
Fucking and punching.
Fucking and punching.
Yeah, the show with David Duchovny. That was the book that the girl stole from Duchovny and changed the title to Fucking and Punching.
Okay.
All right. Well, good for you giving credit to it. I didn't know that. I thought it was.
You thought it was an Al original.
Oh, it works for Superman.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah.
Number 13, Swamp Thing. It's so high on the list.
Because it had a
number 3.
Yeah, it used to be number 3.
Hey, it's at 13 now. It's making its way downtown.
Thoreau, you get really bad because it's like a guy who has a Sandinista type guerrilla training fortress, and then outside of that is a swamp where there's a special botany type laboratory. At one point, you get angry. You're like, "This is an hour away from Jacksonville."
No, it is. They're not.
You're like, this is Florida.
Yeah, no, they're not down like in Central America.
No.
Yeah, that's like you can drive to Disney World in less than a day from there.
And I didn't need to listen to remember this. One of my favorite fucking parts is that in the second act, it's revealed that Arcane was disguised as Harry Ritter, the project manager. The whole time.
Yeah.
And so
we face off, right?
Yeah, exactly. We mused that he was also doing his job that whole time. He was doing Harry Ritter's job. He was getting in that makeup every day.
And then going there and making sure the machine was on. He's checking the plans, doing people's
making sure everybody had name tags on in the swamp.
Yeah, doing the time cards at the end of every week.
Underneath that mask.
Ordering more toilet paper. Yeah.
Harry Ritter.
Oh God, Swamp Thing with Adrian Barr boobs. At number 12, Orgazmo.
Orgazmo.
Which one of you wanted to put it at number 1?
Al.
I did.
Al wanted it to be at number 1.
Over Batman.
The song in this movie is hilarious.
Oh. Yeah.
Yes, it's very fun.
That was mostly in jest.
Okay.
But I did get a little adamant about it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. It's Orgazmo. If you like South Park, you'll like Orgazmo.
If you like Mormons, you'll like Orgazmo.
If you like porn, you'll like Orgazmo.
No, you won't that much.
Actually, you're right.
It's not really a lot of sex or nudity.
If you like weird 80s porn, but not for the sex parts, you'll like Orgazmo.
Yep, you're right about that.
So yeah, that was a good one. Coming in at number 11, Batman 66. That movie. That's still really high on the list. It belongs
Everything was labeled.
Everything's labeled.
Everything in its right place.
Bat ladder.
Yep. Where does he get those wonderful toys? Like the ladders.
He got the bat ladder. Yeah, and the bat when he gets attacked by the shark. And he has while he's hanging from a helicopter. Yeah.
And the shark repellent is one of 4 different aquatic animal repellents
that
they have on board the Batcopter,
but not in the boat, not in the bat boat that they were in earlier.
No, not in the boat. Just in the copter.
At least not that they showed.
We also identified the illness, Gotham City face blindness.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, that has plagued that city ever since.
Yes. The scene with the bomb is still hilarious.
Yeah, some days you can't get or what is yellow and rights? A ballpoint banana? Precisely, Robin.
Robin.
Exactly.
Yeah, Robin may be suffering from a little bit of brain damage.
Yeah, and as goofy as it all was, the villain's just fantastic. The Rogues Gallery in Batman 66, so fun.
Yeah, well, and it was so I loved all like the Dutch angles and the colors. It was a really fun movie. It was fun.
Yeah. Mod.
Yeah. All right, guys, entering the top 10. Here we go. Number 10, The Crow. Which, I mean,
The Crow knows.
It was a good movie. It was a well-made film.
Bad.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't have much to say about that thing.
Well, we're getting down to those. Yeah, like what?
Yeah.
If it's decent, it's decent.
Yeah, no, and it was good. It was barely a superhero movie, but it did count. It came from a comic. He had a name, we think.
Yeah, actually, so when we got down to Crow City of Angels, I pointed out the character's name was Ash Corvin, which was close to Corvid, like crows and
the
blackbirds.
Crow. Yeah.
And then I realized that I hadn't noticed before, this character was Eric Draven. So it's just Raven with a D on the front.
Oh, okay. I see. It's all coming together.
Yeah.
It's number one.
But that was directly from the author of the comics.
Yeah.
You got a hold of him?
That was his choice.
He called Al up and said, listen,
I bet you could call that, dude.
Yeah, I bet you could. Number 9, Unbreakable. And Alive, damn it.
Fascinating transition.
Yes. Yes.
Miracle.
The movie about a guy who gets in an accident and discovers something about himself.
The man is in an accident and learns a little something about himself.
This movie was 90% staring slightly off camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was like the first serious, like dramatic superhero movie, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say
it's taking itself very seriously.
Yeah.
No camp.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, I remember at the time just being gobsmacked by it when it came out. In retrospect, it doesn't hold up as well as it struck me when I first watched it in 2000 or whatever that was. But I think it directly probably influenced things like deciding to make Batman's Christopher Nolan's Batman series so serious.
Oh. Yeah, I can see that.
Coming in at number 8, Blade, the original Blade, our first Stan Lee cameo. Oh no, that's right, they cut it out. He shot a cameo, but they cut it out.
Oh.
It was the first Marvel superhero movie that was a hit, because Howard the Duck and the Punisher existed, but they were not successful.
Yeah, it was the first time we saw those Marvel titles.
Yeah, that's right.
No.
We did.
Blade 2?
Or was that X-Men?
No.
It wasn't the first X-Men. They did have the Marvel titles in X-Men 2. Spiderman.
No.
That's crazy.
That was not the first. That's not the first time we saw this.
It wasn't X-Men?
It was Blade 2. I thought it was Blade 1, but
it was
Anyway,
it was not the first X-Men.
Okay. Weird. Well, so anyways, Blade. A movie about a man who's named Blade. Did he give himself that name?
Christopherson?
Yes, Chris Christopherson.
No, right. That's right.
Be like, let me tell you a little something about Blade. Some people call him Blade. I call him Sling Blade.
Whistler.
Imagine getting Blade and Sling Blade confused. You wanted to rent Sling
Oh, wow.
Blade, and you're like, where's Billy Bob Thornton?
It's like a Bill Murray Garfield situation.
All right, moving on. Number 7, Batman Returns. The just full on Elfman. Not Elfman. Burton. Elfman too, but Danny Elfman too. But full on Tim Burton. That was a weird movie. That was a really weird movie.
Danny DeVito.
Yeah. Danny DeVito. And that like living underneath the zoo. Yeah. And then like the whole Catwoman thing. Yeah, it was a weird movie.
Dark.
Sorry to come to this so late, but I just found a note that back when we had Batman and Robin, Thoreau tried to convince us that they put buttholes on all the Bat costumes.
I don't remember that
Bat
at all.
holes.
Wasn't it buttholes on all the... Wait, was this having anything to do with cats?
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Because of the butthole cut. But yeah.
I refuse to believe they didn't put buttholes in the Bat costumes.
How else are they going to go to the bathroom?
Yeah, you'd have to pull that whole thing down.
Yeah, it's one piece. What are you going to do? Take it off?
They just had to... They digitally removed them for the film.
That's right.
The buttholes, yeah. They just...
Batman just taking
No,
it.
not Batman's, but cats.
No, in Batman. That's how they pooped. They in full costume.
All right. Okay.
Anyways,
Batman Returns.
Batman Returns. Yeah.
The one with the buttholes in it.
Yes. Batman.
Yeah, so Schumacher added nipples and cod pieces. Burton added a butthole. We just never saw it.
That's right.
No.
Oh, and Christopher Walken. I forgot about Christopher Walken and that, and his son that was doing the Christopher Walken impression the entire movie.
Yep. Max Shrek.
Yeah. Somebody once told him. Coming in at number 6 above Batman Returns, Superman, the original. All the way down at number 6 now. Wow, we've really moved up. It was kind of the template for all superhero movies to come. It was also very 70s and weird, and it had Marlon Brando.
I'll never forget the music. You know, the theme. Just like the moment I think of Superman, that's what comes into my head.
Yeah, I mean the theme is iconic and yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, Marlon Brando as Jor-El, the scientist lawyer.
That's right. Because he argued as a prosecutor against the Zod Squad.
No, then we find out in part 2 that they sneak in, they're in the middle of the crime, they're captured, they're tried, and they're sentenced all in that room all at that time.
It's a very efficient system.
And then the General Zod mixer is right afterwards.
That's right. Oh God, yeah. So Superman, you should watch it. Everyone should watch Superman at least once. It's kind of it's the first big movie. It's the first movie where superheroes were taken seriously in any way whatsoever.
Yeah. And it's really well done. There's a great reveal. They give you a nice long time before you see Superman. There's a Mind song.
The Mind song.
The Mind song. It's
beautiful.
We're all in it.
A whole new world.
Exactly.
This is where we find out that Superman killed his adoptive father.
That's right.
Yeah.
He murdered him.
By making him run. Well, it was manslaughter, I think. Caused him to have a heart attack.
Yeah, it's not murder. We also found out that you can fly horizontally like Superman if you're touching his fingers at all.
Yes.
But if you let go,
amount of skin contact,
It's magical.
Otherwise, you plummet.
Yeah, immediately down without any forward momentum.
Yeah.
God, yeah. All right. Number 5, X-Men, the movie about the Holocaust.
It does start so heavy.
Yeah. Yeah. So, it was, Patrick Stewart, the best piece of superhero casting of all time, I think. Our first appearance of Wolverine. Yeah.
But it's like it's a 90-minute meet and greet. It's not much of a movie, but it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. It was, but absolutely 90 minutes of everybody introducing themselves and then the third act.
Yep.
Right above it, we got X2, which was a much better movie, I think, in a lot of ways, despite Dark Phoenix's mom hair. That was a lot of fun. X2 I liked a lot.
Yeah, that was more of a comic book movie than
Nightcrawler.
Yeah, very much. Like it's really a link between what comic book movies used to be and the kind of modern MCU that we're used to now.
Yeah, we saw some of the character motivations that you don't normally see in the rest of these movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
X2 jumped right into it.
That's right.
Because it didn't suffer from the meet and greet attitude of the first X-Men. It just went right into the action, really.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. And let's see, we've got number 3, Hellboy. That was our most recent movie. Way up there. This was just a really good movie. Guillermo del Toro kind of was able to just do what he wanted. It was visually stunning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great to look at.
Yeah. A lot of the creature work was great. I hadn't realized until watching it again how much of it was practical.
Right. Ron Perlman was actually, all the casting was really good.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a fun movie. All the way through. I didn't think there were any clunky bits to it at all, really.
I agree.
Yeah, very good. Number 2, Spider-Man.
Hey, Spider-Man.
Which is it's a really, I'm really torn on Spider-Man as a movie. It has a lot going on, especially with like weird ass Toby. What's his face as
Maguire?
Yeah, Toby Maguire. I wanted to say Toby McKeith, but that's that's his country music stage name.
He's all radioactive venom for my horses.
Yeah, so but
there's something very dead-eyed about Tobey Maguire.
Yeah. Dude's creepy. Dude's super creepy.
It's like a doll.
His eyes follow you wherever you sit in the theater.
But he's always like, it's not quite surprised. They're not open that much. But they're a little more surprised than normal resting eye.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. His eyes don't close unless you lay him down.
Yeah, that's what yes. Thank you.
Just imagine picking up Tobey Maguire. He's like, thank you, Al.
Yeah. All of that worked for me. None of that was weird. It was like Al explained how I felt.
Oh God, yeah. So Spider-Man, it's weird. I think Spider-Man 2 will be better. It'll be coming up here fairly shortly.
I like Spider-Man 2 quite a bit.
Yeah. I have fond memories of Spider-Man 2. That summer we spent
our summers on Cape Cod.
Yes. where Spider-Man 2 showed me what it means to be a man.
On to memories. Oh, Norman.
And our number one on our list, Batman, 1989. I can't believe it's held on for so long.
It still holds up.
Yeah.
It's a great, good movie.
It really is. It really is.
Jack Nicholson's fantastic.
Ooh.
Michael Keaton's fantastic. Kim Basinger.
Yeah, she's fun in it. Yeah, she's really cute. Like, yeah, it's just a good movie, like all around.
Yeah. Definitely the best.
It was the biggest movie of like 3 years of my life there, 2 to 3 years of my life. It was the movie of movies.
Are we doing Birdman?
What are we? No, we're not doing Birdman, but it's on our secondary list to come back to.
Okay.
Because it's it's not about.
It's about Batman.
Yeah, it's not about Batman. It's not a Batman movie. It's about Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that'll be fun.
Al Freeze.
Oh no! I just
he's just being
like an old chameleon or lizard. Is Al frozen?
I was gonna ask where Batman came chronologically, but then I found it at number 14. And it set the new tone.
No more swamp
at the time for our superhero movies.
Yeah, we really need things to get better, I guess.
Yeah. I think the moral of the story is most of these movies have been bad, really bad.
Yeah, I'm trying to pinpoint the point where they get good, and it really is a gradient, but it might be somewhere in like the 20 range. Number 20.
I was going to say like 7 or 8.
I don't know.
Well,
the top 10
be a good one, and then there would be a few years, and there wouldn't be. And then first Superman was good, Batman '89 was good, and then X-Men's the next time.
Yeah.
It's
a good
oh God, yeah. Let's see, we have 2 movies from the 90s in our top 10. No, I'm sorry, 3 movies from the no, that was 2000. 2 movies from the 90s. We've got 1 from the 70s, 1 from the 80s, and then the rest are all 2000s already.
And for, to sort of explain Toxie 2 and the Swamp Thing, and for maybe some new listeners, they're the movies that we judged as comic book movies, and then they're the movies we judged as, was that a fun movie to watch without any pre-investment, such as Batman or Superman or what have you. So, yeah, there were probably some decent movies made, but they just didn't deliver that, like Rocketeer or something like that. That's a great movie, but it didn't deliver that superhero like mojo that we had been waiting for as kids.
Yeah.
Very few of the movies did that.
Yeah, absolutely. And we there's like such a huge gradient of like what's good and bad in this genre that's like there's a curve for sure.
It's a wide pendulum.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it. That's our first 50 movies by ranking. Next week we'll be doing a new one. Number 51 next week is going to be Son of the Mask.
I thought you were going to say Catwoman.
No, Son of the Mask starring Jamie Kennedy.
Jamie Kennedy.
And appears to be in the lead a dog and baby. A CGI dog and baby.
But not the same dog.
So this is my 50th movie, ranking it.
I'll leave you with this. Its Rotten Tomatoes score is 6.
Wow.
All right. Well, now that we've done the countdown, we can start the movie. When are we?
All right. That's our top 50, guys. Thank you all for listening. If you want to support us, you can go to patreon.com/Harmless Entertainment. We'd super appreciate it. We would also very much appreciate if all of our listeners would rate and review us on the podcast app of your choice, whether it's iTunes, the Apple Podcasts app, or Google, or wherever you happen to listen. Even if you don't want to write a review, hit the stars. We'd super appreciate it. So that's it, everybody. Thank you. all for these past 50 movies. It's been fun. We look forward to the next 50. This is frequent charity ball attendee Throw Smiley.
I'm Josh Cece, and there's a butthole in my pants.
I'm Brian Lesh, and I'm going to go bury my tools.
I'm Alaric Weber, and I love the sound of your body talk.
Thank you all, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.